Teacher Susie. It is good to see you.
Principal Pal, I have been calling your office, emailing you, sending faxes, homing pigeons, and waiting at your office for weeks trying to get a hold of you.
As an administrator of this school, I have been very busy. Very busy.
I've seen you sleeping at your desk or watching YouTube videos.
That was research. Very important research.
That is not what is important. I believe we may have a serious problem with one of our students.
And what is that, Teacher Susie? I am here to help you solve all of the problems you have here in the school.
Little Johnny has been unresponsive for the past 3 weeks.
Yes, I know we have had difficulties with little Johnny. You must strive harder to reach him. He must be successful in life, just like all of our students.
No. I mean he is unresponsive, as in not breathing. Dead. Really dead.
I do not appreciate the dysphemism you are using to describe little Johnny. Just because he finds your class boring and not fun is no reason to call him names. You must work harder to reach him and have him engaged in the classroom. Have you tried kinesthetic learning?
Yes, but I think he is dead. As in dead. He is not breathing. He has been sitting in a chair in the back of the classroom now for 3 weeks, and he is not moving.
He probably finds your class boring. You need to do some activities that will get him up and moving.
We are doing reenactments of Shakespearean plays, which he participated in last year. But now, I think he is dead, as in he has left this world. I believe it is too late for little Johnny.
Teacher Susie, I must tell you to refrain from such thoughts being spoken out loud. It is never too late. For any student. We can reach them all and make them successful. Have you tried differentiated your instruction?
Yes, I differentiate my lessons. Every day, and for every class. But I do not think that will help poor Johnny.
Nonsense. Differentiating your lessons is the answer to all problems in the classroom. No child will be left behind.
Not even the dead ones?
Especially the ones who are dead to teaching. We must bring education back to life in them. You should have your classes working in heterogeneous cooperative groups. Have you tried that?
Yes, we do that on a daily basis. But none of the kids will work with him anymore. They say that he smells.
Well, there is the problem. He is being bullied and teased. How can you expect a child to learn when they are being chastised by their peers? You must stop the harassment poor Johnny is dealing with.
But he does smell. He is dead. His body is decaying, decomposing. He has passed rigor mortis. There are flies eating the flesh from his dead body.
That is no excuse. Personal hygiene is not a laughing matter. These are teenagers, and their bodies are changing. He is self-conscious of himself and the way the world sees him. You should try to encourage positive self-care and affirmations. With all the changes his body is going through, he probably doesn't feel like he belongs with his peers and is socially isolated from them. This would cause extreme depression and he would stop taking care of himself.
But he has stopped taking care of himself. He is dead.
Teacher Susie, this language cannot continue. I must insist that you stop calling little Johnny such awful names.
But what can I do? I believe he has passed away.
It is your job as his teacher to reach him. There can be no excuse for not reaching every single child in your room. Have you contacted his parents?
Yes. His parents have not seen him in 3 weeks. They have contacted the local authorities to search for him. I have tried to explain that he is dead and that he is in my classroom, but they only yelled at me and said he was a gifted student.
Have you contacted any experts in a field that could help you reach him?
I called the school nurse, and she agreed with me. He is dead, as far as she can tell. It is time to have the body removed from the premises. To contact the coroner, I must first follow the chain of command, which is to contact you. That is what I have been trying to do now for 3 weeks.
You cannot touch any of the students. Ever. If he is sleeping in your classroom, you must not touch him, or wake him with any sort of harsh words. We do not want to harm his REM cycle or his self-esteem. Instead, you must wake him with a fun lesson that will make him want to participate with his peers.
I have tried to wake him, but he is dead and beyond this world of the living.
Teacher Susie, this is the last warning I will give you. Refrain from such derogatory remarks when discussing our students. Have you tried to contact any other experts to help you reach Johnny?
I tried to contact a psychic, but she refuses to come into the school without expressed permission in writing. She is concerned about the separation of church and state.
That is definitely in the gray area. We would not want some of our parents getting upset. That will not work. What other ideas have you considered?
I have also considered having the local mafia come in to remove his body, but that will cost thousands upon thousands of dollars.
That is definitely not in the budget.
I know. I will have to remortgage my house for such help, but I see no other option if you are not willing to help me in this matter.
Nonsense. I am here to help you. That is why we have been having such open communication here in this great discussion. We are collaborating together to reach little Johnny. What about little Johnny's response to intervention plan? What tier are you on with him? This sounds to me like it is a level 3 tier.
I am not sure what tier to put him on, since I have never dealt with such an issue before. I think perhaps this goes well beyond the 3rd tier.
Nonsense. You are making this sound like the worst possible thing ever that no teacher has dealt with before. Let me tell you, Teacher Susie. Many teachers have dealt with difficult students in the past. You are not the first. Stop being all woast me and instead collaborate with me on how you can fix your problem. What about positive behavior to instructional support? Have you tried to encourage him instead of discouraging him?
Yes, I am all on board with PBIS, but it is not working in this case.
Then you are doing it wrong. PBIS is the answer to all of our problems.
I thought you said differentiated instruction was the answer to all of our problems.
Well, I can't see why little Johnny is having such a hard time in your class. You are a very negative person. Why are you mocking me? Is this how you act with your students?
Of course not, Principal Pal. I am very positive and respectful to my students. And I am sorry that you took my remark the wrong way. That was not my intention. I am feeling very stressed over this situation with little Johnny and do not feel like I am receiving any support in the matter.
I understand you feel stressed. Even so, I will now be writing up a report on your attitude towards me. If this continues, you will be put on administrative leave. Without pay. Perhaps little Johnny cannot hear you in the classroom or cannot see the board. Try seating him closer to you. In the front of the classroom. Has he been tested for a hearing or sight impairment?
Yes, he has. According to his files, his auditory and sight levels are within the normal range. He was tested last year. But, to be quite frank, I do not want him in the front of the classroom. He is dead. His body is putrefied and is a contamination hazard. It is scaring the students who are alive, which is everyone besides him. They are my priority now, not the student who is dead.
Every student should be your priority, Teacher Susie. Your lack of empathy to this young man's situation is infuriating. I cannot have such uncaring teachers on staff. This negativity has no place in the education field. You are fired. Teacher Susie. Go and clean out your classroom immediately. I am glad we did away with tenure, so I can fire you immediately without any repercussions.
Seriously?
Seriously. Go and clean out your classroom. Now.
What about little Johnny's body?
All personal items not belonging to the school must be removed.
Including the body of dead students?
Every student is their own person and cannot be owned. Seriously, Teacher Susie. What kind of person are you? The school board will be happy to hear that another awful teacher has been rooted out from the profession and our district.
I believe I am a good and caring person. I was also an understanding person until this discussion.
Well, you were wrong there. You are an awful, evil person.
Well, on that note, I will go and clean out my classroom. I will speak to the janitor about borrowing a handcart to remove poor little Johnny's corpse. Once he is off school grounds, I will be able to contact the coroner to take the remains away. If he is just as helpful as I have found you to be, I will take him to my family's farm and give him the proper burial he deserves on a nice hill overlooking the river.
Teacher Susie, I cannot believe I am hearing this. You are guilty of an inappropriate relationship with a student. No student should ever be invited to a teacher's home, and definitely should never be alone with a teacher. Something awfully fishy and suspicious is going on here. I must have you reported to the authorities. You must be locked up and put somewhere where you can do no further harm to society.
Oh good. Please. Contact the authorities. I have been trying to get you to contact the authorities about this situation for the past 3 weeks.
I am glad to hear that you have at least some morals and have been trying to turn yourself in. Perhaps you can finally get the help you need.
Yes. That is what I want. Some help.
At your court hearing, I will try to tell them you deserve a plea of insanity. Maybe some time in an institution will help you.
It would probably be more professional than this place. I have not been able to afford a vacation in years. That actually sounds quite nice. Peace. Restful peace. Finally. Peace.